Hello, and welcome to our webinar, Magnificent Middle Grade. I'm Sarah Hunter, Books for Youth and Graphic Novels Editor at Booklist. Before we begin, I'd like to go over some technical details. Today's slide presentation and title list were included in the reminder email you received from Zoom 1 hour ago. To download them, please open that email, scroll to the bottom, and click on the links located there. You can also download the slides and title list by typing the URLs on this screen into your web browser. If you have any trouble, please contact us at webinars@booklistonline.com. The audience is in listen-only mode, but we welcome any questions you may have. On the bottom of your screen is a toolbar with a section for Q&A. If you have a question or need technical assistance, simply click Q&A and type your message into the box that appears. We will do our best to respond to all tech-related questions, and we'll pass along all other questions to today's panelists so they can follow up with you after the webinar. Booklist offers closed captioning on all webinars. To enable or disable them on your screen, please look for and click the Show Captions icon on the toolbar mentioned earlier. If you choose to enable subtitles, you can adjust the size of them at any time by selecting Caption Settings. And finally, Booklist expects all participants to maintain an atmosphere of respect and fairness. Anyone who violates this standard of behavior, including engaging in any form of harassment, may, at the discretion of the organizers, be immediately removed. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Maddie Hughes, Associate Manager, School and Library Marketing Director at Disney Publishing, Nicole Benevento, Children's Library Senior Marketing Manager at Simon & Schuster Children's Publishing, Brianna Cornell, Sales Manager at Shadowmount Publishing, Ellen Myrick, President of Publishers Spotlight, and Michaela Stephen, Sales Manager at Second Story Press. We will begin with Maddie Hughes. Maddie is the Associate Manager for School and Library Marketing at Disney Publishing, where she has been part of the team since 2018. She is thrilled to be able to read and talk about children's books of all kinds as part of her job. Originally from Denver, Colorado, Maddie is now based in LA, where she loves to hike, knit, and of course, visit her local library. Thanks for joining us today, Maddie.
Thanks, Sarah. Hi, everyone. It's so great to be here. I'm really excited to present a selection of our upcoming middle grade titles from Disney Publishing. Next slide. We'll start off with Firebread by Julie Kagawa. In this fast-paced sequel to last year's Lightning-born, Remy, his dragon Storm, and his new friend Princess Gem team up to save their realm. To do so, they must evade the king's guards, discover the hidden truths about the past, and face down a vengeful villain none of them saw coming. Together, they will discover who they are, what it means to be a good friend, and what it takes to be a hero. This series is perfect for kids who love their dragon stories with a side of swashbuckling adventure. Next slide. Kaya Morgan's Crowning Achievement is a middle grade debut from Jill 2. Kaya Morgan has always loved spending summers with her dad at the Renaissance Fair. For Kaya and her dad, the Ren Fair has always been a place where anyone could be anything they wanted to be. And for as long as she can remember, Kaya and her dad have dreamed of her someday being named the first Black queen of the fair. But when Kaya's dad dies, she is left to continue the quest on her own. It's bad enough that it's another summer at the Ren Fair without her dad, and that her family thinks her love of medieval times is weird. But with everyone around Kaya determined to put her in a role she doesn't want to be in, Kaya must decide whether to hold on to her old dreams no matter what, or realize that it's okay for new dreams to become reality. Next slide. Dreamslinger is the first in a new series from Gracie Kim, author of The Last Fallen Star, and is perfect for fans of Amari and the Night Brothers and The Marvelers. 14-year-old Aria Loveridge lives at the Rest Haven Home for Dreamslingers, a safe haven for children born with a genetic mutation that transports them to a powerfully magical realm while they sleep. But this magic can be unpredictable, even deadly. Arya has been taught to suppress her magic because when it's not properly controlled, dreamslingers can cause accidents, like the one that killed Arya's mother. But there is one place that believes dreamslingers should learn to practice and control their powers. When she has the chance to compete in a set of trials to join the Dreamslingers League, Arya knows she has to win in order to shut down the organization she blames for her mother's death from the inside. But the more she learns about being a dreamslinger, and the magic that goes with it, the more she wonders if everything she has been told is wrong. In a starred review, Booklist said that this thrilling series opener takes familiar concepts, a magical school, untapped powers, found family, and blends them into something both fresh and unforgettable. Next slide. Sir Boateng's Guide to Saving the World. For those who have been eagerly anticipating the conclusion to Roseanne A. Brown's Sir Boateng series, the wait is finally over. Sir Boateng has gone head-to-head with vampires, witches, and even a death god. In this third and final book in the trilogy, with the fate of the magical world at stake, Sir will have to face her toughest foe yet, her own grandmother. Next slide. The Last Free Witch and the Nine-Tailed Fox by Jenna Lee Yun. A true friendship survives the test of time, but what about surviving a nine-tailed fox? Last summer, Ronnie Miller's world turned upside down. She never believed in ghosts or witches or magic until her time at Camp Foster, where she learned she was a witch. Magic was real, and some of it wanted to kill her. Now back at Camp Foster for winter break, Ronnie and her friends Jack, Olivia, and Sam can't wait to enjoy all that winter camp has to offer. But when campers begin inexplicably falling ill, Ronnie and friends suspect that supernatural is at play. A gumiho, a nine-tailed fox spirit who feeds on people's life energy, is stalking the grounds at Camp Foster. And she's hungry. Can Ronnie find a way to stop the gumiho and save her friendships? Next slide. Billions to Burn. National Treasure gets a Harlem Renaissance twist in this epic adventure through New York City, filled with history, humor, and heart, by debut author Taylor Banks. 12-year-old Zeus Jones is just about the only person in the world who believes in his grandfather's stories about the Harlem Renaissance. To be fair, they are a bit far-fetched. After all, what are the chances that there was a renowned magazine called Burn, whose headquarters literally burned down, destroying almost every single copy? And who would believe that a secret page was actually hidden amongst the ashes, said to be the key to unlocking a lost fortune? No one, that's who. But when Zeus accidentally stumbles upon the secret page on the same day that his grandfather disappears without a trace, he finally has proof that his grandfather's stories are more than just stories. They're real. And now he knows that the secret page is actually a treasure map, leading to a prize beyond all imagining. Follow the map, find the treasure, save his grandfather. Seems simple enough. But as Zeus and his friends work to solve the riddles of the map, long-buried secrets about the Harlem Renaissance, Black history, and Zeus's own family are unraveled. Filled with interactive clues and puzzles, young readers will love solving the mile-a-minute mystery right alongside Zeus. Next slide. Roll for Danger, The Cursed Catacombs. Really excited about this new format. In this new adventure series from Nick Iliopoulos and featuring art by Ethan M. Aldridge, the reader becomes the character, getting to make their own choices about how the story will unfold. Or do they? Some chapters will present options to choose from, while others will ask the reader to roll a six-sided die and let fate decide their path. It's an interactive reading experience like no other that will allow young readers to tap into a Dungeons and Dragons style of storytelling, while giving them an early introduction to Pick Your Poison game books and tabletop role-playing. Set in a classic high fantasy setting, Seth is the last surviving apprentice of the great wizard Bristleboar. One day, Bristleboar sends Seth on a mission to find an elusive flower that grows in the tunnels under the castle they live in. Aided by an imprisoned imp named Calibor, Seth traverses the tunnels and comes upon monsters to fight and puzzles to solve while learning secrets about himself and his master. By the end, he and the reader will need to make choices about where and with whom their loyalties lie and what kind of hero they want to become. Kids will want to read this book over and over again to see how different choices and a new roll of the die will change their fate. Next slide. Maggie and the Story Shadows by Annabelle O. A pint-sized Only Murders in the Building meets Land of Stories in this fantastical middle-grade mystery where three kids' search for a missing mother leads them to a world where every story ever told is real, making a hit web series about their search along the way. 5 months ago, Maggie Woodrow's mom disappeared without a trace. Now the world has given up the search, and Maggie and her dad may lose their house. But Maggie has a plan. Hire a private investigator, find her mom, and everything will go back to normal. When the private investigator wants $3,000 to take Maggie's case, she turns to Griffin, the school's entrepreneur influencer. Intrigued by Maggie's mom's story, Griffin agrees to film the investigation and create a web series, splitting the profits with Maggie. Except their church takes a totally unexpected turn when they are sucked into a world where every story ever told is real. And so is magic. From Sherlock Holmes to Baba Yaga to terrifying mythical monsters, Maggie and her new friends never know what's around the corner. Still, they are determined to work together and uncover the truth about Maggie's mom. As Maggie, Griffin, and Petra close in on the answers they seek, a mysterious and dangerous man known as the Reaper sends increasingly deadly threats after them. Will they find Maggie's mom, or will their own disappearance become the latest mystery? Next slide. Daybreaker. Daybreaker is the first book in a new middle grade graphic novel series by award-winning Filipino artist Tori Tatiar. Inspired by the folklore of the Philippines, this book is perfect for readers of Amulet and Percy Jackson. Though Mika Mirasol's boarding school classmates tease her for clinging to the stories of legendary beings her Lola raised her on, she can't help but love them. Those myths are all she has left of her guardian. That is, until a year after Lola's death, when a moth speaks to Mika in the old woman's voice. Mika experiences a burst of inexplicable power, and in her panic, she accidentally casts a spell and binds herself to two eavesdropping classmates. Literally stuck together, Mika, Hallie, and Teo grudgingly set out to find a counter curse in ancient Filipino beliefs. But the more they learn, the more it seems that Lola's tales were all true, and that Mika is destined to play a role in them. The mythology of the Philippine Islands comes to life in this funny, warm, and enchanting graphic novel about making friends, learning to let go, and finding your place in the world. And next slide, just have a example of some of the artwork, which is a really beautiful style that I think kids will love. Next slide. Museum Mayhem. In Carnival Chaos, the first book in the Moco Magic series by acclaimed author Tracy Batiste, 12-year-old Misty, who had recently moved from Trinidad to Brooklyn, and her two cousins, Aiden and Brooke, learn that they are Mocos, or protector spirits. Now, in Museum Mayhem, they're off on a new adventure. Misty is excited about her Uncle Andrew's upcoming art exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum. He has chosen to create a piece centered around a Benin bronze, one of several artworks that were looted from Nigeria in 1897, and the cousins are treated to a private tour of the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York to help him choose it. When Misty views the bronzes for the first time, she is transported into a long ago memory of a king who was stern and angry, and that's just the beginning of the trouble. Once the selected bronze is delivered from the Met, the Brooklyn Museum is overrun with dust bunnies that attack people. A mysterious force controlling the dust begins to pull innocent victims into artworks and trap them inside. The cousins are going to need to use their magic and a lot of help to defeat this fearsome foe. Next slide. That's all my titles for today. Thanks so much for being here. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. This is my email. And we also have a lot of these titles I mentioned today available as e-galleys on NetGalley, so feel free to put in requests there. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maddie. And now we'll hear from Nicole Benevento. Nicole is the Children's Library Senior Marketing Manager on the Education and Library team at Simon & Schuster. The daughter of two elementary school educators, Nicole loves that she could make a career out of working with incredible teachers and librarians every day. When she is not reading or listening to an audiobook, she is usually baking more treats than she can eat, diving into a puzzle, or scribbling in her sketchbook. Take it away, Nicole.
Thanks, Sarah. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited to be with you all today. My name is Nicole Benevento, and I am Simon & Schuster's Children's Library Senior Marketing Manager. Today, we'll be showing off some of this year's middle grade highlights, starting with books out this spring that you don't want to miss. We'll kick it off with newly crowned New York Times bestseller Away, the companion to Megan E. Freeman's Alone, which has made it onto more than 25 award lists since it came out in 2021. This one follows a group of children who investigate the threat that prompted the large-scale evacuations in the first book, this time told in multiple POVs. Perfect for fans of Hatchet. Tear This Down is Barbara Dee's newest book, which received a starred review from Publishers Weekly and glowing praise from her fellow authors and school librarian and activist Amanda Jones of That Librarian. In it, a girl must make the choice to speak out against a problematic historical hometown figure, no matter the cost. Perfect for readers of Dress Coded. Barbara Dee has been compared to Judy Blume for her ability to connect with children through her books, and this one is no different. Next, we have a stunning debut fantasy novel about a girl caught between realms of the living and the dead who gets lost in the underworld. This is the first book in the Underwild series, perfect for fans of Greenwild and Rick Riordan. With the popularity of mythology, we're sure this is going to be one that's so hard to keep on your shelves. Now, you may have heard of the incomparable Laurie Halse Anderson's new book, Rebellion 1776, before, but Laurie needed a little bit more time to perfect the story, and believe me, it was worth the wait. Incredibly well-researched, this eerily timely historical fiction novel follows a girl struggling to survive amid a smallpox epidemic, the public's fear of inoculation, and the seething Revolutionary War during the spring of 1776. And another unfortunately timely addition to your library comes from wordsmith and former teacher Jamie Sumner. Please Pay Attention, which received a starred review from Publishers Weekly, is a deeply affecting novel in verse about a girl with cerebral palsy who navigates loss, grief, and the aftermath of trauma following a school shooting in a world that wasn't built for her. Full transparency, get your tissues ready for this one. You won't get through it without them. I didn't. Some new books to look out for this summer include New York Times bestselling author and first Black female American Ballet Theater principal dancer Misty Copeland's new book, as she offers advice for on and off the dance floor to young readers based on letters she's received over the years from fans. Such a cool concept. Growing Home is an utter delight and one of my favorite books I've read so far this year. An unlikely team of talkative plants, a curious spider, and a grumpy goldfish use their newfound magical abilities to defend their family from a greedy human. This is new from New York Times bestselling author Beth Ferry, sprinkled with illustrations from the award-winning Fan Brothers. It's the charming middle grade novel you didn't know you needed. And for fans of Keeper of the Lost Cities and the Marvelers, we have the first book in a new series, The Incorruptibles, where a girl joins the human resistance against sorcerer tyranny. There's just something about magical schools that keeps readers coming back to them, isn't there? And I mean, come on, look at that cover. And now for a bit of a fall preview, you can look forward to a new book from Ali Therese, whose book Free Period was longlisted for the National Book Award. In Vote for the Goat, a burned out soccer star and chronically ill overachiever band together and assemble a ragtag squad to steal their school mascot, a real life goat, back after it disappears. Banter, activism, self-care, double crosses, big shenanigans, and even bigger feelings follow as the girls fight to change how animals are treated in their school and achieve true freedom for their four-legged friend. And we have a really exciting new launch this September as we publish the first book in Jasper Rabbit's Creepy Tales series. From the team behind the New York Times bestselling and Caldecott Medal-winning Creepy Carrots and its sequels comes the first book in a spin-off chapter book series in which Jasper Rabbit tells the story of a young marmot whose tonsils get the better of him. Perfect for reluctant readers, the chills and chuckles are sure to get those struggling back into reading. And to shift the tone a little bit, we also have Bad Cheerleader from Alex Thayer. A dyslexic bookworm joins her school's cheerleading squad to investigate her sister's strange behavior in this insightful and sharp middle grade novel about the unbreakable bonds of sisterhood. As a former elementary school teacher, Alex knows how to capture the struggles of young readers in such a perfect way, and this new edition is no exception. Now, for fans of A.F. Stedman's Skandar series, in which a young boy dreams of becoming a unicorn rider, we have been waiting for the hotly anticipated finale, and this September, the wait comes to an end as Skandar and his friends face their greatest battle yet. That's all I can tell you about it, because that's all I know. It's so highly anticipated, they keep the plot secret even from us. Now, welcome to the Stuniverse. That is the universe of Stuart Gibbs, author of many successful and popular series. Ranging in age from 7 and up to 10 and up, readers can start with Once Upon a Tim, before moving on to Fun Jungle, Spy School, Moon-Based Alpha, and finally Charlie Thorne. And make sure you check out Stuart's creative writing video series that focuses on providing real-world tips for aspiring writers at stuartgibbsmissionwrite.com. Now we have some great new additions to his series this year. We've got the 4th book in the Spy School series, Spy Ski School, available in both Spanish and as a graphic novel. We have the 9th book in the Fun Jungle series, All Ears, coming in May, and the 1st book of the Moon-Based Alpha series, Space Case, available as a graphic novel. And the 13th book in the Spy School series, count them 13, Spy School Blackout, coming out this fall. Now, I didn't want to miss the opportunity to showcase our great graphic novels coming out this year. In Story Spinners, we have 2 sisters who must put aside their differences to soothe their new baby sister with the best bedtime story ever. Beetle and the Chimera Carnival is the delightful sequel to the Stonewall Honor-winning Beetle and the Hollow Bones. And Free Piano, Not Haunted is a spooky coming-of-age story about an aspiring young songwriter who forms a ghostly partnership with the pop star who haunts her second-hand piano. We've also got Jazzy the Witch in Broom Doom, an utterly charming and timeless story about a young witch who struggles to fit in, and Oddity Woods, a mystery that follows a kid detective whose search for her missing father leads her into an eerily enchanted woods. And then we've got Dear Jackie, a story about a middle schooler's plan to fit in with her new friends by writing herself a fake love letter, which, as you can imagine, backfires spectacularly. And The Many Misfortunes of Eugenia Wang, about a girl born on a day considered unlucky in Chinese superstition, who starts to wonder if she really is cursed when she's troubled by visions of doom set to occur on her 13th birthday. So truly, we have something for everyone. An exciting addition to our Spanish list, we have the last book in Jason Reynolds' track series, Lou, available in Spanish in April. With all 4 books now translated, it's the perfect time to get this series in the hands of Spanish-speaking students or those working on learning the language. And for more Spanish titles, check out our new website on simonandschuster.com, where you can find all sorts of books from picture books up through middle grade and YA, now translated into Spanish. To wrap things up, remember to check out simonandschuster.net, our dedicated website for educators and librarians, and the Book Pantry, your guide to children's book discovery. You can check out Books Belong, our website for banned and challenged books and their resources. Sign up for our monthly librarian e-newsletters and stay in touch with us on social media at SSEdLib. You can request Simon & Schuster e-galleys on Edelweiss and NetGalley, many of which I just described are available there. And you can email us with questions or requests. And that's all for me today. We hope you're just as excited about these titles as we are, and we can't wait to hear what you think. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Our next presentation will come from Brianna Cornell. Brianna is not at all surprised that her love for libraries and cats led her to a career in publishing. She holds a bachelor's degree in English from Weaver State University and serves as sales manager at Shadow Mountain Publishing. Thanks for being here, Brianna. The floor is yours.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. I'm excited to share with you Shadow Mountain's upcoming spring releases in middle grade and more. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to kick things off with a couple of fantasy titles. Tales of Newell and Dorn, The Gorgon's Fury by Brandon Mull is out today, actually. Books in the Fablehaven universe have sold over 4 million copies and have been translated into more than 30 languages. Each book in this new series stands alone and features both a shorter page count and nearly 20 illustrations. School Library Journal's starred review of the title says, "For fans of fantasy, adventure, and mythology, this is a must-read, recommended for most library collections." I'll let Brandon Mull tell you a little bit more about his newest release on the next slide.
Well, I'm hopping on here to tell you guys just kind of the latest news with my stuff. So I'm Brandon Mull. I'm the guy who writes the Fablehaven series and Candy Shop War books and a bunch of other middle grade fantasy titles. And so far we have 5 books of Fablehaven and then a sequel series with the same main characters, 5 books of Dragon Watch. And throughout these series, you have 2 satyrs. These satyrs are Newell and Doran. They are the most irresponsible citizens of Fablehaven in true satyr style. And I thought it would be really fun to have these very irresponsible satyrs have to be the heroes of an adventure. And so in Tales of Newell and Doran, book 1, The Gorgon's Fury, we set Newell and Doran on an adventure where they will have to try to survive in the Fablehaven world. When mortals want to use magic, it has to derive from magical creatures. And if magical creatures who are of a more eternal nature want to change, they have to interact with mortals. Because these satyrs have interacted with mortals, they are growing gradually more responsible. And this has happened over the course of 10 books. And as they grow more responsible, they are in terrible mourning that their adolescence is ending. And this is like the problem of their hearts as they have to learn to be heroes. And so anyways, Tales of Newell and Doran, it'll probably be book 1 in a series. I was kind of like, what will happen if we take the comic relief from Fablehaven and make them the main characters of their own adventure? It's written a little shorter than Fablehaven, same voice, same style, but a little bit shorter of a read to hopefully invite in younger readers and reluctant readers. You don't have to have read the Fablehaven books to have a lot of fun with these satyr characters and the adventure that they go on. Then also, if you have read the Fablehaven books, then you will know some of the extra side characters that show up in the story. So that's a little bit of my, that's an update on all things Brandon Mull, kind of what we have coming and what we're looking ahead to.
Up next is Grimworld, the Big Bad Wolf, a continuation of Michael Brent Collins' popular middle grade fantasy series, Grimworld, a blend of Stranger Things and classic Grimm fairy tales. Jake and Willow re-enter Grimworld only to find themselves face to face with the Big Bad Wolf. The twins must steal the King of the Wolf's golden claw to trade with the Queen of the Fairies for information about their missing father before war breaks out across Grimworld. Alongside Little Red Riding Hood, this book weaves in elements from the stories of Long John Silver, Peter Pan, the Frog Prince, and the Wizard of Oz. Like the first book, The Big Bad Wolf delivers safe but chilling scenes that are appropriate for young readers. Now we are going to move on to a couple of realistic fiction titles with empathy-building themes. The Playmakers is an empathy-building read about a group of middle school underdogs who refuse to let failure define them. In a recent review by Publishers Weekly, it reads, Brown and Morris winningly capture the middle schoolers' humor, attitudes, and desires. Explorations of privilege, mental health, incarcerated parents, and financial precarity via the protagonist's personal challenges culminate in a story that emphasizes the power of teamwork to uplift others. Authors Chad Morris and Shelley Brown, known for their quality, realistic middle-grade fiction, have received 13 state and national reading awards. Their most recent release, The Wild Journey of Juniper Berry, was named a Best Book of 2023 by Kirkus Reviews. The Secret of Moonrise Manor by Stephanie Beers came out last month. It is a mystery about a curious girl named Raven, think Wednesday Addams meets Sherlock Holmes, as she uses her budding skills as a mortician and forensic scientist to investigate an old and mysterious death at her small town's haunted hotel. This is a fun read with plenty of laugh-out-loud moments, while still incorporating themes of friendship and family. In Booklist review, they called it a cross between Scooby-Doo and the Addams Family. Booklist also said that this will hold appeal for middle-grade scientists, budding detectives, and perhaps those with a taste for ghost hunting. This is book 1 in a series. Book 2 is planned to release early 2026. Alright, so next I have a picture book to show everyone. This picture book was actually inspired by a song written by Grammy Award-winning songwriter and acclaimed film director Molly Bonner. So before I show you the book, I'm going to show you the song that inspired the book. This is a clip from Molly Bonner and his children on the next slide.
Okay, this one's for Ari. Has anyone made you feel less?
No.
Good. How about you, Gio? Less than you are. Anyone?
No.
Has anyone called you a name?
No.
That's good. Okay. What was it? Because you are dark.
No.
Then promise me that if you hear it, you won't believe it. Okay? Do you hear me? Promise me. Let me see your arm. You're beautiful. Brown skin. Your brown skin is beautiful. Do you know that? Your brown skin. Where do I begin? What about white skin? Is it beautiful?
Yes.
Yes, it is. And Gio? What about tan skin? Is it beautiful?
Yes.
That's right. Do you know why? 'Cause all skin,
We're made beautiful.
yes, they're made beautiful, 'cause his skin is our skin. But the beautiful part about your skin is what lies within. It's what comes from within.
Yeah, there's different kinds of skins. That's the best.
You're beautiful. skin, child. Okay, guys, you can go. Love you. Bye.
I never get tired of watching that video. Those kids are so cute. So that brings us to You're Beautiful, which is the picture book inspired by that song. It is a lyrical children's picture book that celebrates diversity and promotes empathy, self-worth, and acceptance. It affirms every child's inner beauty and honors the richness of the many cultures around us. Here are some of the interior illustrations done by artist Gigi Moore. There's also a QR code in the book that links to the original song, Brown Skin Child, You're Beautiful, which is the song that you all just heard a couple slides ago. The book does also include lyrics from the chorus. It's ultimately designed to create a meaningful, multisensory experience for children and families. Okay, and finally, I have a couple of young adult titles to show everyone as well. Coming this summer is Wendy's Ever After by Julie Wright, which was recently chosen as a Junior Library Guild Gold Standard selection. In this enchanting sequel to the beloved Peter Pan classic, Wendy Darling's past in Neverland collides with her hopes for the future as she falls for Captain Hook's charming nephew. Wholesome, lighthearted, and full of adventure and romance, this story will take readers back to the wonders of Neverland and captivate fans of fairy tales and happily ever afters. This is Julie's third young adult novel. Her recent release, The Art of Us, earned positive reviews from Kirkus, Publishers Weekly, and Booklist, and was also chosen as a Junior Library Guild Gold Standard selection. I also wanted to mention that we are doing a paperback re-release of Fun Fact I Love You, which is a contemporary high school romance we released last year. This new edition has a brand new cover, sprayed and stenciled edges, as well as a never before published bonus chapter. It is available now. All right, it looks like we are at the end, so thank you again for being here. It was a pleasure to join you, and a big thanks as well to Booklist for hosting us. If anyone is interested in complete information of any of the titles that I presented today, you can find that on the Shadow Mountain Edelweiss page. And as always, if you have questions, I would be happy to answer. My email is there on the screen. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks so much, Brianna. Next up is Ellen Myrick. Ellen began Publisher Spotlight 15 years ago to promote and market independent and international children's book publishers. She recently co-chaired the IBDY Regional Conference in Nashville and has presented at ALA, ABA, and regional conferences. You can catch her on Kidlit TV with Rocco Stano for seasonal showcases featuring highlights from more than 20 publishers. Follow her at Pub Spotlight on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest for more diverse, inclusive, and beautiful books from around the world for children and teens. Thank you so much for being here, Ellen. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited to share these books with you. We're going to have books from all these different publishers. As I said, best of the best from small presses. Moving on. First up, we have Faiza is a Fighter, and oh my goodness, girl power to the max here. This is by Despamita Dasgupta, who was a Kirkus Prize finalist for Mina versus the Monsoon. And next slide, let's just keep on scrolling through these gorgeous illustrations. This is a graphic novel set in northern India. Faiza gets an amazing birthday present, boxing gloves. I know that's not what you think I was going to say, but it is. She gets these boxing gloves and she loves to box. Her father is her coach and her teacher, and she's getting ready for a really big tournament. But then there is this amazing, horrible thing that happens. There's an avalanche. This is set in northern India, right? So avalanches happen, and his bus that he's riding back from going to the city to do his big stuff. He's coming back, and that bus is completely derailed, and he isn't able to get back in time for her major thing. So he is going to get there however he can, and she has to go ahead and do the fight without him. And in the end, of course, she does make it through, and you see this great back matter that explains how the characters are created. But this is Faiz is a Fighter from Soaring Kite Books, who is now owned by Lerner Books. So you'll be able to get this, and it is absolutely gorgeous, available both in paperback and hardcover. Next up, we have Sony and the Life Drinkers. So this is the third in the Intisimi Warriors book 3, Intisimi Warriors series by Shikunaguru. And in this one, we have Sony. Well, I should first say Shiko lives in Kenya. So she writes about East African mythology because that is what she grew up with. That is something her life has been steeped in. And she has always been fascinated by. We're hearing a lot about kids who want her reading middle grade novels and they need to have, bigger fonts. Some illustrations are helpful. And I think you're going to see that in this thing, those bigger fonts is really helpful. But in Sony and the Life Drinkers, Sony's go through and the kids have to defeat these horrible beings, these zombies that are working across the world, and then they have to defeat them. And this is an alternative Kenya. I should point out the Macaulay and the Forbidden Mass, which was the first in the series, was a Georgia State Book Award honoree. And this is a really great series, especially for fans of Tristan Strong, punches the world. This is Punches the Sky. Sorry about that. Yes, this would be a great one for that series. So somebody who's getting ready for that series, this is a good one for them to go to. Next up, we have The Forest Yet to Come. This is from Little Island Press. This is a publisher that is based in Ireland. And Sam Thompson is actually mostly known as an adult writer. He has actually been on the longlisted on the Booker Prize. This is his first series for young adults, for children. And it is set in this world, the same world as Wolf's Tongue, his first book in this series. And actually, each one of them is standalone, although they do share that common setting. And in this world, the animals can talk. And the first one was an Outstanding International Book Award winner from the USBBY. And this is just such a gorgeous book. And it's beautifully illustrated by Anna Traumat. There are kids who are in this forest. They're in a human settlement within this large forest, and they're told they cannot go out, else the wolves will hurt them. They're wild and dangerous and strange. And there's a mysterious stranger who comes in and tells them he will lead them to outside that other world. And they learn that maybe the wolves are not what everybody said they were. Maybe they are friendlier than imagined. So they have to uncover that secret and discover a way to find themselves into the wider world. Gorgeously written. And yeah, you can check this out on NetGalley. Next up, we have Alcrem. This is from Red Comet Press, and this is by Marta Palazzetzi, whose Mist was the Strega Ragazzi Prize winner at Bologna in 2021. In this one, Theo is about to turn 13, and when he turns 13, everything changes, and he's going to become an Alcrem. And you're saying, what is an Alcrem? Those are people who can create magical potions, wield powerful weapons, and they have been vilified by their former allies, but now their arch enemies, who are incidentally called the alchemists. His father has been imprisoned, he's wounded, and he needs a powerful potion, and it is up to Theo to try to find the solution to the problem and to save his father. This is a powerful adventure fantasy. We know that fantasy is very hot. You've seen so much here today. Add this one to the list. It's going to be fantastic. Next up, we have Ivy Newt and the Storm Witch. This is an illustrated chapter book, and it is a best-selling one in the UK. This is the book 1, and it's the first one that's coming here to the US. We're very excited to have it. You can see this incredibly attractive and really fun set of characters. Ivy Newt is just lovable, and she's unstoppable. And yeah, she's got a sense of mischief. So that is just what makes it even more fun. Great illustrations abound. She's also very, very funny. This is something that kids are going to like. And sometimes we just need to laugh, right? So it's her birthday, and her parents, who are the king and queen of the sand witches, get it? Anyway, they decide to do a magic trick and they disappear, but they can't come back. So it's up to Ivy to figure out what's happened. So it is funny and clever, and this is just the first of Ivy's many, many, many adventures. Oh, by the way, if you're in the New York area, Derek Kelty is coming to the US in May, and if you'd like him to come, please email me at ellen@publisherspotlight.com, and maybe we can work something out. So next up, we have Mystery at the Biltmore. You know what? The world is so complex. Let's solve some mysteries, right? Just some nice mysteries, like a nice simple cat napping. Why not? So this is the second in the series of the Mystery at the Biltmore. I think Harry the Spy meets Only Murders in the Building. And then you got a pretty good idea with a little dash of Eloise thrown in there as well. So this is a very rich kid whose parents just kind of go off and leave her behind, and she's in this building. And in the first volume that we have, which is a heist story, she was able to solve a mystery, and all the people in the building now know that she is very, very good at solving these. In this case, there is a catnapping, but the person who's lost the cat wants to keep it all very, very, very secret. And I don't know if it has something to do with the film that they're actually shooting in the building or not, but maybe it does. So there you go. That is Mystery at the Biltmore, the classified catnapping. Great fun from Pajama Press in Canada. Next up, we have Supernova. This is coming to us from Nosy Crow, based in the UK. And Shantae Timothy is off to quite a start with her career. She's the author and illustrator here, and she's always been fascinated by factoids and science. And so this is a way she gets to kind of explore that part of her and really enjoy it, because her heroine, Supernova, is fascinated with science as well. And so this is a very, very STEMmy thing. And what she's trying to do in her secret underground lab, because you've got to have one of those, right? So what does she do down there? Well, she's trying to devise a plastic-eating monster that she can unleash on the world's oceans. And I kind of hope she succeeds, because we need that, don't we? We all need that. So this is going to be an amazing series. We're excited to have it here. It's a graphic novel series, so it's coming up soon from Nosy Crow. And now it is my delight to be able to introduce you to Melanie Lee, who is the creator of the Amazing Ash and superhero Amma, coming to us all the way from Singapore, where I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning. So welcome, Melanie.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hello. So tell us a little bit about your book. I love this mashup of superheroes and navigating a relationship with a beloved grandparent. Can you tell us a little bit more about that relationship?
Yeah, I just really wanted to write a story about an elderly woman who's a superhero. And of course, I wanted to do it as a middle grade graphic novel. So she would partner with her 11-year-old granddaughter, and with a bunch of other kids, they go on missions together. But I was fleshing out Ama's, or the grandmother's character. I was also working out what her kryptonite would be. And in Singapore, I think over 10% of the people above 60 actually have dementia. So I kind of decided that would be the condition that she would have to grapple with. But as I did more research on dementia, including talking to people with that condition, I realized it was so complex. And that was what I tried to reflect in the touchstone. So whenever Ama's dementia progressed, there would always be this ripple effect, so that it would really affect the granddaughter Ash. And there were these constant adjustments and evolving expectations. But Ash and Ama, together, they realized they do need the support of their friends and family, even if they don't have superpowers. And it's just as important that they all work together as a team.
Amazing. Now tell us how you came to write this graphic novel.
Yeah, so basically, I was approached by Difference Engine because I'd written picture books previously. That was my first foray into children's literature. I'd actually picked up a Crystal Kite Award for a picture book I'd written several years ago. So they asked me to pitch a superhero graphic novel trilogy. It was my first time writing comics, but I think what I really enjoyed about it was that it allowed me to get really immersed in the story. And yeah, I think that for the next 5 years, we just worked on that trilogy together.
It's amazing. Now, how did you come to Difference Engine, which is a wonderful publisher in Singapore, I should add?
Yeah, so it's actually the only independent comics publisher in Singapore. And what's also pretty amazing is that Ash is one of the first few children's books that's in comic format that actually won 2 major national book awards, which usually doesn't happen for the comics genre. It's still seen, as not proper reading in some schools. But the fact that many librarians and educators saw that this was a story worth sharing with students really, really was quite encouraging for us.
Well, that is incredible. Now, I know you do a lot of school visits. In fact, I think you have one in 3 hours. So,
Yeah.
so sorry about that. And tell me something memorable, a really cool question that a kid has asked you that has really stuck with you.
Yeah, so just a few weeks ago, a boy was asking me, what do you see when you write comics? And I thought that was a really interesting question, because I find that when I write for the comics format or the medium, it's so different from writing stories or poetry or novels, which is what I'm trying to do now. The story when I write in comics is just so much livelier in my brain. It's almost like going on a theme park ride. And when I kind of shared that process and how it's so much more dynamic, I think a lot of other kids also wanted to try out their own, creating their own comics as well.
Well, that is incredible. And thank you, Melanie, for getting up in the middle of the night to talk with
No
us here
worries.
for Magnificent Middle Grade. Back
Thanks.
to you, Sarah.
My script went away. There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you so much to Ellen and Melanie. Our final presentation will come from Michaela Stephen. Michaela Stephen is a sales manager at Second Story Press, an independent feminist publishing house based in Toronto, Canada. She has her Master's of Arts in English Literature from the University of Calgary. Outside of work, she enjoys writing, singing karaoke, and collecting strange earrings. Thanks for being here today, Michaela. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here, tuning in from Toronto, Canada. Second Story Press has been around for 36 years, and we publish books for all ages that explore themes of social justice, human rights, and equality. I'm excited to talk to you about some of our upcoming and recent middle grade reads. We've got some great options to add to your collection, including unique mysteries, historical fiction, and engaging nonfiction too. Next slide, please. Up first, I want to highlight Year of the Carrot, a debut middle grade mystery from Madeline Hart. Today is the publication day, so happy book birthday to Year of the Carrot. This is a fun, unique mystery and adventure about a girl named Leo who lives on a farm with her parents and grandmother. They grow many vegetables, but their main crop and Leo's dad's obsession are carrots. Everything feels like it's about carrots in Leo's home. She adores her dad, but she's so sick of carrots. Her dad is bursting with carrot facts, and she feels like she needs to save room in there for worrying about finishing middle school and secretly fixing up her older brother's dirt bike. But then Leo sees someone lurking around the farm at night, and neighboring farms start having problems, including vandalism. Leo suspects someone is trying to sabotage her dad's farm. Is someone trying to steal her dad's one-of-a-kind carrot seeds? She and her best friend start to investigate. They must protect the carrots. I really love this book, and I think it's a lot of fun. Leo is such a relatable protagonist. She's both tough and self-conscious. She adores her family, but she also wants her independence. I think she'll make kids laugh a lot. She's sassy and witty. The mystery offers a lot of intrigue, some interesting clues from vandalism to flying drones, and even some red herrings. Not to mention, Year of the Carrot has an eclectic cast of characters. We're doing some fun promotion for this book, including with carrot paraphernalia and leading up to International Carrot Day on April 4th, 2025. This is an excellent spring break read and perfect for any hesitant or shy readers out there. A bit about the author. Madeline Hart is a writer and creative director. She has worked in the video game industry for the past 20 years, having worked on huge titles including Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, and Prince of Persia. This is her debut novel for kids, and she's so excited to promote it and do events in person or virtual. The book is getting some great reviews, including a rave review from CM Reviews, which you can read on the slide. We think readers will really connect with this book, and we hope you add it to your collections. Next slide, please. Up next, I want to highlight one of our recent fall 2024 releases, Undaunted Ursula Franklin, Activist, Educator, Scientist by Monica Franklin and Erin Della Mattia. This is a middle grade nonfiction book that shines an intimate light on a woman who should be more widely recognized. It's a perfect book for young feminists and kids interested in science and technology. So who was Ursula Franklin? She was born in Germany in 1921 to a Jewish mother and a Protestant father. When the Nazis first took over Germany, her parents tried to send her to a school in Britain. But then when the Second World War broke out, the UK refused to issue student visas to anyone under 18. So Ursula stayed in Germany and studied chemistry and physics at the Berlin University until she was ultimately expelled by the Nazis because she was a Jewish student. Her parents were sent to a concentration camp, and she was sent to a labor camp where she repaired bomb buildings. Happily, she was reunited with her family after the war. She then completed her studies, earning a PhD in experimental physics. She opted to move to Canada because of her political opposition to militarism, and she was awarded a postdoctoral fellowship at the University of Toronto. She was the first woman at the University of Toronto to be named a university professor. But Ursula Franklin accomplished so much more in addition to this. She was a leader in scientific research that was influential to conserving resources and protecting nature. She dedicated her life to feminist and activist pursuits and social advocacy organizations, writing books that connected pacifism, technology, teaching, and feminism. She received the Order of Canada, the Governor General's Award for advancing the equality of girls and women, the Pearson Medal for Peace, and more. A bit about the authors. Monica Franklin is the daughter of Ursula Franklin. She's a retired lawyer living in Toronto. It was only later in life that Monica came to learn the extent of her mother's achievements and the obstacles she overcame, as Ursula was quite humble. Monica wanted to share her mother's story with kids today, especially young girls. Her co-author, Erin Delamatia, is a writer and editor from Brampton, Ontario. What I love about this biography is that it's not just a rap sheet of all her accomplishments, but as one of the authors is her daughter, it's told in such a personal, attentive way. We get small anecdotes about Ursula, written with such love and admiration for everything Ursula accomplished and had to fight for as often the first and only woman in the room. It's a warm, engaging read. Ursula Franklin is an inspiring figure in STEM for girls. This book shares the important, timely message to not be afraid of being the first in something, of being a pathbreaker, or making an unpopular choice you believe is right. Next slide, please. Up next is Obasan's Boots by Lara Jean Okihiro and Janice Bridger. Written by two cousins, this middle grade novel is inspired by their grandmother, who was forced into a Japanese internment camp in 1942 during World War II. The novel splits between two perspectives. In the present day, it follows two young cousins who are visiting their grandmother and learn for the first time what happened to her all those years ago. In the other perspective, it tells the grandmother's story during World War II. This is a powerful and beautiful novel for kids who enjoy historical fiction. This book includes great back matter, including a historical timeline of World War II and the internment of those with Japanese heritage in North America, and historical photos. There are few books for young children on the topic of the Nikkei internment. Obasan's Boots provides details of the Japanese internment, both in Canada and the US, and the racism that existed before and beyond this event. Because it also shows the girl's perspective in present day, it successfully explores the impact the Japanese internment has had on later generations. It's full of social and emotional learning. The children have to deal with the mysterious silences that surround their family's past, the strong disagreements between family members on whether to talk about what happened, and the impact of family separation, lost language, and the trauma they've inherited. It's an engaging, stunning book. It's received incredible reviews and has been nominated for several awards this year. We have a free educator's guide in the works. Next slide, please. This is another excellent book for kids who enjoy historical fiction and adventure. I love this cover so much. Bernice and the Georgian Bay Gold by Jessica Outram is a novel about a young Métis girl in 1914 who finds what she thinks is a treasure map. Young Bernice lives in the lighthouse in Georgian Bay, which is a stunning area in Ontario and Canada. Bernice's family is very poor. When a visiting artist leaves a map at the lighthouse, Bernice is so excited. She decides to search for the treasure herself in order to help her family. So she heads out on her rowboat with her dog for a big adventure. The book features a strong female character who values the land, water, family, and freedom. Kids will fall in love with Bernice. The story touches on the implications of the logging industry and coal industry, as well as discusses geology and ecology. There are few children's books with Métis characters. Although fictional, the story is inspired by author Jessica Outram's family story and her great-grandmother, Bernice. The book features some Michif words and phrases added in partnership with the Métis Nation of Ontario. Jessica Outram is a citizen of the Métis Nation of Ontario, an educator for over 25 years. She specializes in Indigenous education. The book just won the Jeffrey Bilson Award for Historical Fiction for Young People, one of the biggest awards for historical fiction for young readers in Canada. It's received some great reviews from Booklist, Anishinaabe News, and more. And I'm excited to share that a sequel is coming out next year in 2026, so keep your eyes peeled. Next slide, please. The Mighty Muskrats are back again with more adventures and intriguing mysteries. The Mighty Muskrat series is one of our most popular series for this age range. We just published book 5 last spring, The Case of the Pilfered Pin. The books continue to receive incredible reviews and have won or been nominated for many awards. Several of the books have been featured by Junior Library Guild as selected titles. The books follow 4 Indigenous cousins, 3 boys and 1 girl, who solve mysteries. Author Michael Hutchinson was a big fan of the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew growing up, and he wanted to write a series where Indigenous kids like himself could see themselves. Michael often handles tough topics in each book, but always with great sensitivity. Not to mention the books are funny. I love the banter between the four cousins and the role each of them play. Michael Hutchinson is a Swampy Cree writer from the Treaty 5 area and a member of the Mississippiwistic Cree Nation. He's charming and well-spoken and excellent at events. We're committed to the longevity of this series, and I can say that a 6th book is forthcoming next year. It's also been optioned for television. Michael Hutchinson describes the books as reservation dogs, but for younger readers. Next slide, please. I'll just briefly highlight another series we have called Do You Know My Name, which is an excellent series of nonfiction books for middle grade readers about inspiring people who deserve more recognition. Like Undaunted Ursula Franklin, they're excellent books for the young feminists and activists in your life. So they highlight women and non-binary people in their respective communities who've done so much for their communities. One of my favorites is Pride and Persistence, Stories of Queer Activism by Mary Fairhurst Breen, which is about women and non-binary people who have fought for LGBTQ rights. Run the World Like a Girl by Kate Graham is coming out this fall, and it's about women in politics on the global scale, and it's excellent. Next slide, please. Also just wanted to show some of our previous middle grade books, both fiction and nonfiction. This is just a glimpse of our wide collection for this age range. We've got books that handle tough topics. We have picture books for older readers, and we have novels where BIPOC and LGBTQ kids can see themselves represented authentically and more. These books have won many international awards, been reviewed widely by Booklist, Kirklist, and more, and most of these books have a free educator's guide available. Next slide, please. That's all from me. If you have any questions or if you'd like to learn more about any of these books, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can check us out on Edelweiss, and I'd be happy to send along educational resources, bookmarks, or advanced copies of the books. We want to support librarians. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Michaela. And a huge thank you to all of today's wonderful panelists. Tomorrow, all attendees will receive an email containing links to today's video recording, slide presentation, title list, and certificate of completion. For more about Booklist webinars, be sure to visit www.booklistonline.com/webinars, where you can view archives of past webinars and register for upcoming ones like those you see here. You can also find out about the latest webinars on our social channels. Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and now Blue Sky. And just a note that we are no longer on X, so please find us on these other channels for the latest Booklist news and updates. We are thrilled to announce that the digital version of Booklist Reader, the monthly reader's advisory magazine from the editors of Booklist, is now an ALA member benefit. Head over to our new site to start reading. And if you're not already a book subscriber, you can use your ALA membership ID to sign in. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. A huge thank you to our panelists and to sponsors Disney Publishing, Simon & Schuster Children's Publishing, Shadow Mountain Publishing, Publisher Spotlight, and Second Story. This concludes today's webinar. See you next time.